Hello, Master Erisson. Welcome. We are very happy and grateful with your presence here at this ChatArt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Valeria and Assistant Professor Leonard, for the opportunity. And also, I would like to thank everyone who are watching, teachers, students, both from Brazil and from abroad. I hope this chat can contribute to our knowledge, and I made a study a few years ago with a school group here from Brazil called Kado Yurasanke, and we tried to synthesize a few elements of the Japanese culture that I think are very relevant points in relation to Ikebana and also to the culture of the tea ceremony, gastronomy, painting, and other aspects. I believe it will be very useful for people practicing Ikebana. So I have separated 4 elements to explain and illustrate to better fix in our mind the characteristics that influence the art of Ikebana. So now I would like to show some slides. Synthesize a Mylinar art is very difficult, but I would like you to understand that we will approach just 4 points: symbolism, asymmetry, simplicity, and mutability. Mutability is not so common in our culture, but I will try to explain and show some images that way we can understand better. First, I would like to explain that everything in Japan starts with calligraphy. And I chose a calligraphy, a letter that means the first day of the year in Japan. The calligraphy, the ideogram, is an icon that when we see it, we know what nature wants us to show. Today, for example, if you use it a lot, it's not kanji anymore. An example, if I go to Russia, I get a computer, I can read what it is. We can enlarge or reduce this icon. The Japanese ideogram is more or less the same. So this first day of the year is a very important icon symbol. So this Canton word meaning New Year's Day is the ideogram that is only used for the first day of January in Japan. This ideogram is used in calligraphy and stamp. The right side has a little square with a dash in the middle. This is the ideogram of the sun, and on the bottom is the number 1. So it's the first day of the year. So it's like the sun is rising over the horizon. This is only used that day. The 1st and the 2nd February is another ideogram. So let's see how this transports to Ikebana. Look at this ceramic vase. It's shaped like bamboo. Note that the bamboo knot is in the middle, mimicking the sun ideogram, and the base mimicking the number 1. So first sun of the year. This Ikebana is made at the beginning of the year, bringing the emotion of the first sun of the year to our home. Let's see some more images. In this vase, you can see that the node is in the middle of the vase. So you can imagine the ideogram, and below, the base symbolizing the number 1, that would be the ideogram representing the horizon. This image icon begins to influence Ikebana in several other aspects. I'll explain a little more. In this Ikebana, I use this rounded vase, also representing the first sun of the year. At this time, this material is without leaves because of winter, and the branches twisted in a circle symbolizing the first day of the year. This symbology enters in all the areas, but I chose one more example. An important example. I chose this phrase, hyoten, gourd, Japanese proverb. Hyoten, kara, koma, ga, deru. That is, from within the gourd, that is the hyoten, comes a horse from inside, and that is impossible, but he is wishing and thinking to achieve something impossible. So gourd is widely used in Japan in Ikebana vases, pendants, and various other utensils. Please, when you go to Japan, or if you find any utensils or vases with gourd, think about what it means to achieve something impossible. I have one more example, okay? This phrase, mu bio shoku sai, means no illness, no conflict, no tragedy. They use the idealogram, the sound of the word gourd, using it to transform this sentence. The right side is the word 6. The left side is the word disease. Mu bio means no illness, plus the mu is the same sound, so they changed the sound of the word 6, gourd, to no disease, no conflict. The only thing in Japan that has 6 pieces is the gourd. Everything else is 5 pieces, for example, chopsticks, teacups, etc. In this photo, you can see that the tea bowl has 2 gourds, outside and 4 inside. When I drink the tea, I'm already wishing you or my guests and friends health, prosperity, and joy. So this symbolism is only in this sense. The next photo is the hashi. In this hashi, you will see that 6 gourds were also used. These are also the symbols of health, prosperity, and long life. In this other photo, they are serving a dish with the gourd format in a restaurant. They are wishing prosperity, happiness. This symbology is used on special occasions. Symbology is represented by the idealogram and used in cooking and in Ikebana. The gourd vase, for example, is used on occasions of joy in a festive moment. Another very strong element of Japanese culture is an element that is used a lot in Ikebana: painting, ceramics, and food. Is the sho chiko bai, pine, bamboo, and plum. They say pine, bamboo, and plum are the 3 winter friends because at that time in Japan it blooms. So they are used in Ikebana, in painting, in calligraphy, using the symbology of each one. The long life of the pine, the flexibility of the bamboo, and the joy of blossoming plum trees in winter. So they spend this joy of Ikebana, painting, food, and so on. An example, if a person has a scroll at home, a picture with bamboo, they will make an Ikebana using the pine and the plum tree, or if the picture is made of pine, they make the Ikebana with the bamboo and the plum tree, creating that image of long life, prosperity, growth, and so on. Here I set aside a teapot. This teapot has a design of bamboo, plum, and pine. I will use this teapot on this occasion on the new year, wishing my friends and family joy and happiness. Was the idea clear? Bringing symbolism through painting, Ikebana, ceramics, and calligraphy, and so on. In this photo, I wanted to make an Ikebana using a gift that a friend gave to me that had the paint of a pine tree. In my house, I have a picture of bamboo, and I used the gift representing the pine, and I used the tropical flower because at this time of the year in Brazil, it's summer, and we don't have flowering plums. Another very symbolic element at the beginning of the new year, used in homes, offices, and shops, is the kadomatsu, always used in front of the establishment, decorating the entrance. They believe they are attracting God in the new year in the house. There is a very important phrase that says, "In the gate where there is a smile, it attracts happiness." I studied the ideogram of the Wadai Take 10, smile. It is composed of two elements. The first one is the bamboo, the green one, and the second ideogram is heaven. So that's why bamboo is used in houses, symbolizing the smile. Can you see it? If you look on the internet, they use kadomatsu on both sides of the entrance to the house or shops. A very interesting symbology, a way to welcome the new year, praying, thanking, and taking your thoughts to heaven. In this photo, they formed kadomatsu. Using the food, the person looks at the plate and already feels that they are wishing a new year full of joys and happiness. I don't know if you've noticed that even the cell phone already has the mini kadomatsu emoji. Even technology is using symbology. In this photo, a dessert, a cake, using the image of kadomatsu. The symbolism used in Ikebana, in cooking, and so on. In this other photo, I thought it was very beautiful. This pot using bamboo to serve sake. Inside is the sake, and they use the bamboo and the pine above and the plum tree below. Pine, bamboo, plum, sho chikubai. This symbology goes beyond the limits of our understanding, so please let us think about each element used at the time. Another very important point in the art of Ikebana is symmetry. Symmetrical is like that. It fits perfectly and the asymmetrical does not fit. The asymmetrical are not the same in shape, size, or arrangement, lacking symmetry. In the case of Ikebana and ceramics, asymmetry is used a lot. Note, this piece of ceramic, handmade teacups and vases. The utensils were used with this method of asymmetry. With Ikebana, we use the asymmetric triangle to generate an empty space. This Ikebana I made used asymmetry. The vase is asymmetric cubes, emphasizing the empty space. This is also an asymmetric Ikebana. This one I did using wisteria, as if I were painting a picture. Asymmetric involving the vase, using the elegance of wisteria, and always thinking about the use of asymmetry. Okay, shall we get into another subject? In this photo, when we see the rice paper, we know that one day the paper will become old and tear. But I also know that I will replace the paper if that happens. The natural change of things and time. In the next example, this work, the weather changes and forms new characteristics, the rain, the wind, and so on. This moment, one meeting. This piece now, if we look at next year, it will already have new characteristics, depending on the season. Everything takes on a special flavor for each moment. Mutability is perhaps a very oriental concept. This Ikebana I used a flower that doesn't last long, maybe an hour or a few minutes, but that moment of joy of seeing and appreciating the beauty of that flower is a unique moment that has stuck in my mind until today. We can use flowers in Ikebana that last for minutes, hours, and days. Ikebana is not a method for the flower to last a long life. Each flower has its lifetime. Each flower has its characteristics. We use all flowers. We have to adapt to this characteristic of each flower and feel that special moment. I chose one more example based on the handwriting: moon, snow, flower. The moon representing the autumn, snow representing winter, the flower representing spring. So for example, if I have a calligraphy with the moon, I can arrange a flower using the pine tree. The painting I'm going to show has this trilogy: moon, snow, flower. This calligraphy is from Mokichi Okada. Here, in this painting, you can see the trilogy well. The first showing the flower, the second showing the moon, and the third showing the winter. These paintings are in the MOA Museum of Art. These elements influence the arts of Ikebanas, painting, calligraphy, ceramics, food, and so on. Here I chose this beautiful picture of a camellia flower. The camellia's ideogram is written with two: the spring tree, the flower that begins to bloom in spring. In ceramics, they also use symbologies. Shabana, the flower that is used in the tea ceremony to compose the takanoma. Ikebana is the art that was developed over 500 years ago, following rules and concept of symbologies. Here I made a shabana. Calligraphy by Mokichi Okada. I made a small flower using a gourd-shaped vase. The Ikebana itself, our school, uses more the juka moment, free and there is a free academic. I used the utility, a piece, to compose this Ikebana. This other Ikebana I made in the autumn, the flower is very yellow, almost falling from the main branch, capturing the beauty of the autumn. That's what I tried to express. Autumn, winter, spring. Always thinking about these elements. We are now going to show you this beautiful gate of the MOA Museum Garden. The bamboo garden with an autumn explosion. This nature, this vibration, bringing us closer to us using symbology in the dessert to give that autumn air, the color, the movement. They serve with maple leaves to express all the autumn nature. Here we have a pottery piece for the tea ceremony, showing the strength of the autumn season. This piece will only be used in autumn for a maximum of 3 months. Then I'll save 9 months. I'll only use it next year. It is a symbol of autumn. This influence, both in Ikebana and in the tea ceremony, is very strong. If you wear 3 months and keep 9 over time, it becomes a treasure. You get a very special taste. In this image, enjoying the rock garden and the cherry tree in the background. Just that moment. In a few days, you won't see it again. It's a unique moment. It is important to think, to value each moment. Another very important point is simplicity. Based on this concept I talked about now, mutability, asymmetry, symbolism, with making this moment simple but elegant, taking the maximum of the essence of each thing. The tea ceremony uses this a lot. Here, I made this arrangement when I was visiting Japan, using a flower explosion, wearing the bridal veil. The strength of the flower is so elegant. The vase is also simple, enhancing the flower with the environment. Not surpassing the calligraphy, but composing with the calligraphy. That balance, that simplicity, when a person looks at the calligraphy, then looks at the flower and feels the joy of blooming from the flower. Simplicity is a great treasure, a great element in the art of Ikebana. Please, when we vivifying the flower, think about the beauty of the vase, the beauty of the environment, where it will be placed. This is very important. It's not just our will, it's the whole thing to live up in harmony and value simplicity. Is it that clear? Tea ceremony also use simplicity, elegance, serving with all the symbolism, feeling for its guests, preparing your feeling, your emotion, your heart to serve in that little bowl of tea. This tea, transforming flavor, creates a bond between guest and host. Without words, at the tea ceremony, there is hardly any speech. Through symbology, through moments to touch people's hearts. There are several American movies that show these moments, serving tea with that feeling. So the simplicity of the symbolism. I chose this bowl, very beautiful, which the artists use asymmetry and simplicity. The artist couldn't make another one like it. It could be similar, but not the same. It is a unique piece. This is one moment, serving this one moment. Within this set of these 4 points, these great paths arise. Kendo, Kyodo, Judo, Shado, Kado were perfected until they became ways to obtain the emotional self-control, self-expression, and spiritual enlightenment. Therefore, in Eastern thought, what we call the way, it means the path to be taken to reach Satori, that is, the understanding, intuition, and perception of things. So I believe that when we enter the path Do, whatever the path is, flower, tea, ikebana, calligraphy, we can think that it is not only the technical part, but the inner development. I hope this chat has contributed to our study and growth. I did this study, and when we published the book, we tried to summarize some important points. I always ask teachers and students, please, if you don't know or don't understand, ask me. This small study that we did gives us a little understanding about the Japanese culture. So, in the beginning, I said that it is very difficult to synthesize the Japanese culture, but those 4 points will help us understand that the art of Ikebana is linked to those symbologies as symmetry, changeability, and simplicity. We use flowers that can stay alive 10 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, but our job is not to make the flower to live longer. Our job is to let the flower have life and enjoy their own moment in the environment. This is what I would like to pass on to you. I hope it helped you. Any doubts, our channel is open. I have several materials. Please visit the website erisson.art.br and watch them at all your will. Thank you very much, Professor Valeria. I hope I have passed this topic so interesting about what it is behind the symbology and how we use this symbology in our daily lives.
Wow, Sensei, beautiful presentation. Thank you very much. It was a very unique moment, a paradisiac moment. We will post Erisson Sensei's website information at the end of this presentation. Please go to his website. It's very educational. Thank you very much.
Soon I will see you in Los Angeles.
Thank you, Sensei. We can't wait. Thank you very much.
Olá, sou Erisson, professor da Ikebana Sangetsu. Estamos disponibilizando alguns vídeos de estudo para ampliar nossa capacidade, nossa visão técnica da arte da Ikebana. No primeiro vídeo que eu apresentei para vocês, espero que tenham assistido, nós fizemos um estudo de linha reta. Hoje eu gostaria de fazer um estudo com vocês, de propósito, utilizar o mesmo vaso, técnica de Muribana, e o estudo seria linha curva, linha dinâmica, linha movimentada. Não é? Então hoje eu escolhi uma flor muito dinâmica, que é a flor de alho. Espero que goste. Mas não esqueçam que na arte da Ikebana é importantíssimo os objetos em ordem, água sempre fresca. Na hora que for colocar água, por favor, né, preocupe que a água é a energia da flor. Isso tem um ditado no Japão que é muito interessante, que fala que a água ela faz o casamento, a união entre a flor Olá, sou Erisson. Faz o casamento, a união entre a flor, o vaso e o nosso sentimento. Então, não é qualquer água. Então, por favor, quando for colocar água, pensa bem. Momento de reflexão. Esse vai ser o alimento, tanto material como espiritual da Ikebana. Parece uma coisa simples, mas a água vai dar essa ligação do nosso sentimento, o vaso e a flor. Então, por favor, não esqueçam da colocação da água com esse sentimento. Então, eu gostaria de começar, então, mostrando para vocês essa maneira de utilizar a linha curva. Quando eu estou falando de linha, de a linha curva, ela tem que deixar realçar a linha. Não posso esconder a linha. Então, por exemplo, olha que bela linha curva. Olha, nossa, eu estou até perdido com tanta beleza de linha curva. Olha essa que linda. Não é? Então, eu gostaria de realçar essa beleza, ok? E antes de verificar, por favor, meu kit está aqui guardadinho, a minha toalhinha, como eu já coloquei, para colocar a tesoura, o paninho úmido para se algum pingo de água cair na mesa, tá? E não esqueçam de cortar sempre a flor dentro da água. Esse material, ele é meio assim macio, então material macio a gente sempre corta reto. Tem tanto material bonito que está difícil de escolher, né? Mas essa linha está muito bonita, não está? Então vamos olhar bem a frente dela. Queria que observasse, a flor tem uma frente, olhando para cima, olhando para baixo. Na Ikebana a gente sempre procura utilizar voltada para cima, em direção do sol. Acho que tá bom 3, né? Mostrou bem essa movimentação das linhas. Então agora vamos fazer um acabamento utilizando face. Sempre na composição, evitar utilizar muitas flores para que não possa realçar a beleza das flores. Não é? Então, a cada uma está mostrando a sua beleza, como uma joia. A face também mostrando essa beleza de cada face. E posso virar para vocês, para apreciar de lado? Não se olha assim, Ikebana, se olha de frente, como vocês estão olhando. Mas, como eu falei no primeiro encontro, as folhas, as galhas, as flores, não pode ficar assim chapado, tem que ter espaço. Então, olha só, se olhar na... Dá para ver bem? Então, puxa vida, eu acho que eu vou colocar mais uma folha para dar mais profundidade. Vamos tirar para vocês. Esse é o início de um estudo. Como estudo, eu posso ir aprofundando, criar várias composições a partir desse estudo. Dá para ver a pontinha dela aí bem, né? Esse também tá. Gostaram? Tá bom assim? Linhas curvas, utilizando material curvo. Observem o espaço vazio entre as flores. Então, eu gostaria de continuar o estudo e aprofundando agora as linhas curvas. Eu procurei utilizar essa flor do alho, que está muito bonita, né? E realçando ainda mais a beleza das linhas curvas. Espero que apreciem e aguardo todos no próximo vídeo. Muito obrigado.